All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Okay, on this December 11th, hopefully you're making it a December to remember. Today we are very fortunate from Equity Title to have Jamie Zeppenfeld. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Here you are. You're
yep,
good.
I'm
you
here.
Star 6. There you
I
go.
did.
All right, well, let's start off with a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this maybe, and a little about equity, all that good stuff, please.
So I, like Rick said, I am Jamie Zeppenfeld. I'm with Equity Title. I work over at our Southwest location. I've been in the industry now, it'll 5.5 years. Oh my gosh, yeah. So it's been 5.5 years. I help agents with their social media, coming up with content calendars, trying to market themselves. Basically, as a rep, we wear a lot of different hats, but our main goal is to, facilitate relationships between escrow officers and realtors, but also to help realtors with their marketing in order to gain more business. So, yeah.
Right. I love it. And you know what? You guys have it down in Arizona. Brittany, Rhonda, you got Rick. The whole team is incredibly good. And if I'm an agent, I'm not just saying this because I'm a company guy. I'm saying it because it's true. If I'm an agent and I have a transaction and you guys are doing the closing, I have nothing to worry about. So I would definitely make sure that obviously I would use Prosperity because they do a dynamite job too. And then when you use Prosperity, that we're using equity and the deal goes smooth. So not only. It's just never mind for your clients and customers, which is great because you guys do a great job with them. But from an agent standpoint, if you don't want to have transactions fall apart, you want to use the company that knows what they're doing, and you guys definitely have it down. So great job.
Thank you, Rick. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. You know what? I've been doing this. So you've been doing this 5.5 years. I got my real estate license at 10. No, I'm kidding. I got my license.
Oh my gosh,
19.
I was like, wait a second, I don't think that's legal.
No, it's not. But it sounds really good.
Yeah, right.
And I've been doing this in 3 weeks, I'll be able to say I'm in my 39th year doing this. And I've been doing this before. And I learned it at the Mike Ferry Organization. Use one loan originator and use one title company. And this is before RESPA even got involved and made us turn them into, business arrangements. Or now, we're just owned by the same corporate, the same parent company, Home Services of America. But, it just made sense to me because your clients are treated like gold and your closings are done. So you just move on to the next one. It's always made sense. Now they're super official with business arrangements or owned by the same parent company like we are, and it just works really smoothly. So great job. I think you guys do a fabulous job.
No, thank you.
All right,
really
so let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it. Let's do this. I hear we're talking social media today, right?
Today we are talking social media, so I want to give them the basics. Let's start there. Then I also want to give them some themes, things to talk about. And obviously, if I'm an agent out there, I'm setting a one-on-one with either you, Brittany, or Rhonda to make sure,
Absolutely.
Depending on which office you're in, obviously, making sure, because you guys will do it and the VAC as well or better than most of them. So let's get into it. Social media. Let's talk social media.
All right. Fire off. Let's go.
All right. So what do you think? Okay. So if I'm an agent, I have my 6, but I'd like to hear yours. What do you think the most important social media sites they should be on?
Personally, I firmly believe that Instagram is the most important because it's the most user-friendly across the board, in my opinion. And you can, everyone knows you can post video content, you can post short-term content and long-term content on it. And I think it's the easiest to get your message out there. The second most important, I would definitely say, would be TikTok. Which a lot of people get scared when I say, hey, you need to start jumping on TikTok to try and broaden your audience a bit. But the important thing to know is that, with TikTok, there is a whole generation of people who are content creators and influencers. And while they might be very young, they're also making a ton of money just for doing funny things on the internet. And there are also people that are in the market to purchase homes now. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a really good spot to try and jump in and gain a different kind of clientele.
Right. I love it.
And of course, I mean, with Gen Z, you want to influence them early on. You know what I mean? And once they build a lot of trust and rapport with people through the internet. That's their jobs to do, right? So if you get in there early enough and you're, one of the first few realtors that they see the videos that you post, they're going to trust what you're posting and say, okay, this is my first time doing this ever. I want to jump straight to this person and have them help me in this transaction.
Love it. So you would definitely start, and let's face it, when you have Instagram, you can make it, the same post go directly by throwing the little switch there onto Facebook too.
Yep. Yeah, and that's really easy. With Facebook, once you're posting anything on your Instagram, as long as you have it set up to share automatically to your Facebook as well, you really don't have to. You can kind of just let Facebook hang out there in the background and just, obviously make sure that you're going in and you're checking your notifications and checking for engagement. But it makes it just a lot easier when you tie the two together.
Right. I think so too, yeah. So that way now and let's say they're owned by the same parent company, so you can just have it set up so it goes from one right to the other, so you don't even have to worry about it. What about LinkedIn?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like LinkedIn at all?
Personally, for me, I don't. I might get in trouble for saying this, but I really don't use LinkedIn and a whole lot. Mm-hmm. I do know some realtors that find it beneficial. If they have a listing or something, then of course you're going to post it, and hopefully any connections that you may have on LinkedIn, maybe they'll kind of get something directed towards you. But that one seems to be, at least for this industry I've seen, it's the least popular for trying to market yourself and find customers.
Okay. All right, good.
But that's just in my personal experience. So don't chastise me for that one.
No, and I think it has to do with age too, because you're younger, and I think the Instagram, TikTok is more where you're going to find people your own age and so forth. And an old dude like me, I'll be 59 this month. I'm more of the Facebook type, because that's where, like my kids tell me, Dad, Facebook is for old people. And I always go, yeah, but old people have the money and they have listings. So, I think it's a little of everything. And I like, the one thing I like about LinkedIn is it's really easy to grow like a whole bunch of people, because, people will accept just about anybody. The only thing about LinkedIn is they don't check like Facebook, people are on there every day. Instagram, same thing. TikTok, definitely. TikTok and Instagram, they're on there 72 times a day. But,
right.
So if you're going to use LinkedIn, you got to be more patient, because it takes time, I think, for people to even accept your, whatever they call them on LinkedIn, connections, I think they're called.
Absolutely. Well, and something you could do too to kind of, because like you were saying, you have to be a little bit more patient with LinkedIn. It's always worth it to include your LinkedIn profile, if you have one, when you are posting on your other social platforms, so people can find you there as well. So it's definitely, it's not a waste of time by any means. It can definitely be beneficial, but there's always a way to shamelessly plug your other social media platforms into the main one that you tend to use. So.
Yes, and shameless is a good word. I love it. All right, cool. What do you think of YouTube Shorts? Have you had anybody having success with that?
So I know a very small handful of realtors that have started to kind of dive into the YouTube Shorts, and they tend to really like it. Because of course everybody knows that YouTube is that place that you go to for more long form, more detailed content. But we're now living in an age where people want that instant gratification. They want to turn that playback speed up to 1.75 and listen and absorb the information that you're giving them very quickly. So they've found that YouTube Shorts have been very beneficial for them. It's because, it's basically you film your one short form content video, you post it on your Instagram Reels, you post it on your TikTok, and then you have it on your YouTube Shorts. And then from YouTube, it's easy to post it all in your different places. And then on YouTube, you can also then create a longer form content video to expand on that topic if the engagement on that YouTube Short is really great. You want to look for those signs, like, did this do well? Is this something that I should expand on more? Read the comments, read the engagement that you're getting, and use that to your advantage to then create more detailed videos. So I definitely, people tend to really enjoy the YouTube Shorts. I know I do.
Yeah.
I like watching them. So.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. You know, you get on. It has a whole different section for them too, which I think is cool. When you get on there, they're usually the first thing, and you can check. Right? Yeah, I like that.
They're super easily accessible, easy to find. They're awesome.
Yep. Cool. All right, cool. So I'm an agent. We talked about a lot so far. We've talked about Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We talked about even TikTok. What about which one am I missing? Am I missing any? No, and YouTube. No, we definitely have done that. Now I'm an agent and I'm thinking about implementing somebody. So what would be like a good little routine maybe to get into?
As far as like your posting?
Yeah, like okay, so I'm gonna have it's December. I have the rest of December to get in and create a new habit, a new discipline of posting, you know, a certain amount of content, maybe what kind of content, how often, that type of thing.
So another shameless plug really quick. I am going to say I would definitely recommend one meeting with your rep because like I said in the beginning, we can create a content posting schedule for our agents that we work with just to kind of give you some guidance as to what you should be posting. You know, like maybe start deciding that, okay, on Mondays, I'm gonna post a Manic Monday. That's just kind of showing how you prepare for your week, right? Like maybe it's a short little video reel or maybe it's just something that you post on your Instagram story. And, you know, you post, hey, this is how I prepare for my week starting on Mondays. Or if you're the agent who likes to prepare on Sundays, then post it on Sunday. But make sure that you're including some kind of a question like, oh, how do you prepare for your week? So that way you can start to get that engagement. On Tuesdays, do like a Tech Tip Tuesday or something of that nature. It's just start to find little themes that you can post day in and day out. It doesn't always have to be on your permanent feed. Like I said, you can post it on your story just so that you can remind people that you're there. And that way it also pushes you higher up in their algorithm. So when you do post something permanently on your feed or, you know, in your reels, then it's going to show up for them as soon as you post it. And that way you can boost even more engagement and get your name even more so out there. So I think a really good habit is just picking a theme of the day and running with it. And then deciding too, like, okay, maybe every Friday is when I'll post a video reel that people can return to. That's just kind of reviewing what the market looked like throughout the week. You know what I mean?
It's a great idea. I love the themes per day too. Wonderful Wednesday and, you know, whatever. You can do it at Money Monday. Whatever,
yeah, exactly.
Or Manic Monday. Anything, you know, I like rhyming everything because, you know, like my saying, I have a saying for every year and I have unveiled this, but I'm going to tell you too, Jamie, and it is sell more in 2024.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's something you can utilize on your social media.
That's right. That's right. I use it, and I even say be more. You know, never mind just selling. What about your health? What about your relationships, your family, your mindset, your spirituality? There's so many things that you can focus on and have little and you can give tips like that too, right? It doesn't have to be all about real estate.
Exactly. So I was actually just going to say with your, you know, sell more in 2024 or be more in 2024, something that really does well on social media is when people do series. So let's say you have your highlight reels and you have, you know, just a series on TikTok that is be more in 2024, and you can make a video every week that is a part of that series that people will want to return to, showing how you better your life and your business, or those little small changes that you've made to better your personal lives, or, you know, to have that work-life balance, things like that. If you create a series, it gives people something to look forward to when you are posting, and it'll always draw them back to your social media. I follow a ton of content creators on TikTok that just talk about they have a series of doing one thing every day that scares you. So I go back to those creators' pages every day just to see what it is that they did. And maybe I did something similar. You know what I mean? And it doesn't even have to be anything crazy. It's like, oh, I took a walk 2 miles by myself today versus the 1 mile I did yesterday. You know what I mean? Or I went and I ate at a restaurant alone. Something like that. And it's just, that also helps people be real human beings instead of just a realtor. Like you want to build that rapport with them so that they know that like you're also a real human.
Right.
And you're relatable, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely recommend turning that into a series.
Yeah, and you know, like people ask me all the time, well, what should I do? especially the newer people, I always say, do the day in the life of a real estate agent. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
really, let's face it. Social media is almost like your own little reality show. They love to see what you're doing. So, you know, give them a little real estate, give them a little life, give them a little hobbies, give them a little family, give them a little your pets, your kids, give them a little of everything, right?
Absolutely. And even give them a little bit of the drama. Obviously, you don't want to go and air out any kind of dirty laundry, but let's say you went into a walkthrough or something and there was suddenly a squatter in there, and they're just tell a little story about how all of that played out. You know what I mean? Because people want to see that too. You know, they want the real, they want the raw. So it's okay to talk about the drama. Obviously, like I said, don't talk about anything that is way too personal.
Right.
But the funny drama stories, I went into an open house and I accidentally spilled red juice all over the white couch that was in there. So if something like that happens to you, talk about it.
Right. I went into a house and I opened the refrigerator and there was turkey leftovers, so I helped myself. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
That's something that I would do. No, I'm just kidding.
No. You know, I say that because I had a woman I used to coach years ago when I was at Mike Ferry. This is probably 20 years ago, and she came clean on a coaching call with me and told me that she did that. I was like, oh, my God, don't ever do that again.
But that's hilarious. See, and that's a story that you can. You just had me enticed. I'm like, wait, this really happened? That's awesome. That's hilarious.
It did.
So
It did. And this is the funny part. She said to the people, hey, go upstairs, check out the second. My knees are sore today. Go up, check out the second floor, and then help herself to stuff in the kitchen in the refrigerator while they were looking at the second floor. I had to mute my phone. I was burst out laughing, and she was thinking like this was serious, like this was a problem. I'm like, it is a problem, but relax, don't do it again.
Yeah, I mean, you did it once. You told the funny story about it. Definitely don't do it again, but thank you for sharing.
Right, exactly. So, and I like what you said a while back. Meet with your title rep. You guys know social media very well. You know how to combine it with the VAC because we have some good stock stuff in there too. Combined it with, you know, our neighborhood reports and our newsletters, and really come up with a good. And listen, it's not real complicated to do this, is it?
No, it's not complicated at all. We could do a one-on-one quick little coaching session on how to navigate your VAC and make it work for you, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, here's a great, especially in Nevada. Lorette will meet with them in California. Michaela will meet with them. I mean, we have in Arizona we have I can't think of her name right now. I can see her face, but we have somebody in every market that will meet with them about the VAC and the marketing, and then we have every market we have title reps that'll meet with them and help them too. So they really have no excuse. Look, it goes back to that old saying, 2024. Is this going to be, you know, is this going to be someday I'll do it, or is it going to be day one? You know, it's the old saying, someday.
Oh, absolutely.
Or day one.
That's one of my favorite things.
Day one.
It has to be day one. You know, it's never too late for it to be day one. And also with the way that, you know, our company and the way that Berkshire has everything set up, I feel like we absolutely set the agents up for success. It's just what they do with the information that we give to them after they've absorbed it. You know what I mean? And this isn't to talk badly about anybody. Sometimes people have things going on where they just cannot get to it. But there have been a handful of times where I've given the agents all of this information, all of these tools that they could utilize. And then I check back a week later, still nothing has been done. I check back a month later, still nothing has been done. You know what I mean? And it's like you have to choose that you're going to actually utilize the information that we give you because we want to see you be successful. If you're not successful, we're not successful. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it really is. Yeah, let today be day one and stick to it. Have that be a part of one of your little changes that you make every day. Have that be that one thing that you do every day that scares you, you know?
Right. And it's really, it boils down to, you know, like for real estate agents, they're independent contractors. So I call them solo entrepreneurs. They really are. Remember, I don't know if one of my favorite lines, I saw an interview with Jay-Z and Warren Buffett. I don't know how I came across it on YouTube, but I was looking for something by Warren, and I see this interview, and, you know, Jay-Z has that great line. I think it's even one of his songs where he says, you know, I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man, right? And so
yes.
true, right? Isn't it true? It's so true in real estate or woman, because you're a solo entrepreneur, right? You're in business for yourself, not by yourself, because you have myself, you have the Berkshire Hathaway name, you have obviously our wonderful title people like yourself, our lending institutions, but every day needs to be day one when you're independent contractor. Otherwise,
100%.
you can only coast so long before the train shows up.
Exactly. No, I completely agree. Like, you are essentially, you go into this alone, and like you said, you're not alone doing it, but it is up to you how successful you're going to be.
So true. All right, cool. So we have meet with you guys, and you can take them through that and so forth. But how about just what would be like a good starting point? I'm somebody, that has I call them, they call them reasons, we call them excuses. It's not me. I'm a private person. How should I start? So just give them a couple little tidbits on where maybe a good place to start.
I will say privacy needs to go out the window. No, I'm totally just joking. You can still, of course, maintain some level of privacy. But like I said, people want to know that you're a real person. So, sit down and really think, what does privacy mean to you? Set your boundaries as far as what you're going to be willing to share on social media, and don't budge on that. You know what I mean? If you choose, I know a lot of people who don't want to show their children's faces. They will talk about their children, or, they'll post a picture where they blur out their child's face. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. So, just sit down with yourself and ask yourself what your boundaries are. And if people start to ask you, like, hey, I would really love to see what your kid looks like. Hey, I really want to know what neighborhood you specifically live in. If you don't feel comfortable talking about that, that's okay. Just figure out what it is that you are comfortable with, and then start from there, And then that's the number one thing, too. Post a quick little video on your Instagram story. Just kind of talking with people so they can hear your voice, they can see your mannerisms, they can see how you kind of like operate and just how you are as a person. Post that little video and then see what happens. See the engagement that you get, and then that'll also help boost your confidence to continue to do it moving forward. I remember I used to be so afraid of video content, and there was one day where I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a quick little 3-part Instagram story video, and I did it, and I was so nervous, and I keep looking back at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my lip looks funny there. Oh my God, I accidentally had a double chin right there. You know what I mean? And I was criticizing myself so hard. And then the comments and the messages started flooding in. And I was like, oh, people are liking this. They want to see what I'm talking about. They actually want to continue this conversation with me after the fact. You know what I mean? So it's do that. Start with just a quick little Instagram video story. And then, like I said, of course, set those boundaries as far as what you are willing to share and what you're not willing to share. That is going to be the biggest thing that I think will help people, because social media can turn into a dark place if you let it, right? So you've got to just set those boundaries right out of the gate.
What's funny is I've always had all my social media, and I agree with everything you just said, and I think that a lot of people they're so critical on themselves that they stop themselves from taking the next step. When if they just went through the process, got outside their comfort zone, they're going to see that a lot of people love to see, because people know intuitively how really hard it is to turn that selfie camera around on yourself and then do a video. It's a little weird at first, but it ends up really good. And I'm going to tell you, I've been doing this now. I would say I've been on social media about 7 years. So I was still late to the party, but I put a lot of stuff out. I have a lot of followers and friends and connections and so forth, and mine's wide open. Like, anybody can tag me, anybody, and I do it on purpose like that, right? I've only deleted one, and it wasn't even really that bad, but I deleted one comment, in all the years I've been doing this. So people can be a little
which is
dark,
awesome.
But yeah, thank you. But I find people are a little dark when it's about politics, religion, and so forth. If you keep it about what you do and your fit, it's rare that someone's going to be that dark to you, but it does happen,
Yeah, it can definitely happen. And on the topic of politics and religion, I would definitely recommend kind of steering clear of talking about that, because it could very easily, your comment section can turn into a freaking war ground. You know what I mean? If you start to talk about that. Exactly. And that's like the negative attention that you don't really want on your page.
Right.
right? And also,
So
but there is options now on all social media platforms too, where you can filter out certain buzzwords. So if people are leaving negative comments, you won't be able to see it. And, there's been a lot of talk as far as like social media and mental health. And I think that is one really great thing that social media has been able to implement to help protect people and their mental health from those kinds of dark, negative things. But also depending on the kind of person you are, it could be good to see it just so you can, see like, okay, could this have been a critique that just got a little mean and nasty? Yeah, absolutely. But you can also take it, let it resonate with you, and then say like, okay, well, maybe even though they were not nice about it, maybe this is a good little piece of advice that I can take and utilize in the next things that I post moving forward, It
is usually a little story in it. Some people are just, and I agree with you, if I have a political opinion, you're not going to see it on social media because you eliminate half the people, half of them you solidify and the other half. So you don't have to tell everybody who you're voting for, and I recommend you don't, and especially religion as well. You don't have to. Keep it on, keep it on the basic stuff, and you'll do a lot better. People get a little crazy, and we're in some pretty political crazy times right now.
Absolutely. You want to have that well-rounded social media where you feel like, or where everybody feels included. Inclusivity is definitely a huge thing when it comes to social media. And like you said, you don't want to eliminate half of the people that you could have engaging with you. That's like social media suicide,
Right. Yeah. And stay within your wheelhouse. Like, I know I'm not going to do dancing TikTok videos. I just know I'm not going to, right? But it doesn't mean we have a husband and wife right from your office, Southwest office. You know who they are. Husband and wife dancing team. I just watched one this morning on TikTok. They're cute, wonderful. I love it. I could never do that, but they do it wonderfully. So whatever you're good at, and then you're going to find out. I think, like you just said too, Jamie. You do a couple of videos, you're going to get so many positive responses. You're going to be like, oh, it's going to give you the juice to do more of them too, and you'll see. Everybody 100%. I convinced to start doing videos ends up doing more of them once they do at least a couple because they see it's what you just said. They give positive responses, and it's always helpful.
Absolutely. It's always helpful, and it's honestly fun. Like, social media is that thing that drags you down that you don't look forward to doing every day. When it's like, oh, gosh, I have to make that video. It should be, oh, I'm so excited to make that video. Oh, I'm so excited to go create that post. You know what I mean? Like, when you start to get that positive engagement from people, it makes you so excited to do it. And it was once something that you were so terrified of, And I know you mentioned earlier that you only recently in the last few years started, posting on social media a ton. Something that people come back to me with is, oh, well, how am I going to get recognized on social media when I don't even have a page yet? It doesn't matter. It is never too late to start building your brand via social media. It is very, look at these sensations that have blown up on TikTok overnight. It's possible. It's definitely possible to go viral. You know what I mean? And to get that following, it's the amount that you post and it's what you're posting about. And, figuring out what your posting style is. If you want to do different series on, tips for how to stage your home, or if you want to do a different series on what to look for when you are purchasing a home, things like that, then that's great. If you want to just be a story time kind of agent and just tell different stories and then every now and then throw in a little bit of market information, that's great too. Figure out what your lane is and stay in that lane. And obviously, test the waters a little bit in different topics and things, styles of posting. See what you actually like, eliminate the ones that didn't work for you, and then just continue to grow on the things that you're good at.
Right. Yep. Well, I love it. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, everybody, Jamie Zeppenfeld from Equity Title. Make sure you check in with her and
get it
started. I really appreciate you. And thank you for taking your time out today. Really appreciate it. Okay,
absolutely. I hope everybody has a fabulous week. Happy holidays. Thank you, Rick. I'll talk to you very soon.
You got it. Thank you very much, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.